final preps now underway as Joe Biden prepares to take office. Reports of long lines downtown as people flock there in hopes of getting vaccinated. An update on wait times and another local hospital system that's opening up COVID vaccinations to select patients.
And winds are starting to pick up and will continue to build into this afternoon. I'm pinpointing the high wind warning and the flash flood watch that was just issued a bit ago. ABC 10 News Midday starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
We're showing you a live look here again at what was happening in Delaware. President-elect Biden speaking, getting ready to leave, heading to Washington for the inauguration, which is less than 24 hours away. And of course, things are going to look a lot different this year. Thanks so much for joining us, you guys. I'm Virginia Cha. Thousands of National Guard troops instead of the typical spectators will be there with security ramped up at the Capitol. ABC's Alex Perche has the details.
Right now, Joe Biden is preparing to leave his home state of Delaware for the last time as president-elect. By this evening, he and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris will be in Washington, in place to begin the most unusual transfer of power in modern American history. This was the National Mall overnight. 56 light pillars for the 50 states and 6 U.S. territories. Nearly 200,000 U.S. flags, representing Americans not able to travel to the inauguration because of the pandemic. Then there's President Trump, who hasn't been seen publicly in a week. Both he and First Lady Melania are skipping the swearing-in altogether, though Trump's holding his own send-off at Joint Base Andrews. Neither of them have invited the Bidens to the White House before inauguration, a courtesy extended to the Trumps from the Obamas. And, of course, there's security. While federal law enforcement continues to round up those involved in the insurrection on January 6th, they're also on high alert for potential new domestic terror plots tomorrow. All major bridges entering D.C. shut down this morning. 21,500 armed National Guard now on duty. Barricades and checkpoints everywhere. Helicopters in the skies and police boats in the Potomac River.
Now is not the time to come into our jurisdiction to create havoc.
ABC News has obtained a new law enforcement bulletin raising concerns that right-wing extremists like QAnon and lone wolf attackers might try to pose as law enforcement and military to infiltrate security. And late this morning, a defense official confirms that their vetting found 2 Army National Guard members who have ties to far-right groups. Both have been moved from inauguration security and are currently under investigation. ABC News has learned that Joe Biden will go to church tomorrow, and in a show of unity, he's invited congressional leaders from both parties to join him. They've all accepted. Afterwards, they'll be right here at the Capitol. Alex Perche, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
And the extra security extending well beyond the U.S. Capitol. This video taken at an airport in Detroit shows TSA doing secondary screenings, looking through carry-ons and rechecking IDs for passengers headed to D.C. As Alex just told us, the heavier security is coming in the wake of the Capitol violence. The House has voted to impeach the president for his actions leading up to the rioting. Today, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell addressed that.
The mob was fed lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people.
The Senate is expected to be split right down the middle, with Vice President-elect Kamala Harris holding the tie-breaking vote. McConnell and current Minority Leader Chuck Schumer set to meet today to talk about how things will operate going forward, including the upcoming Senate impeachment trial. As for the inauguration tomorrow, we will have live coverage from start to finish right here on ABC 10. It all starts at 6 a.m. and can be live streamed, and you'll be seeing it live streamed on your favorite streaming device as well. So county vaccine sites are now open to anyone 75 and older with an appointment. Yesterday there were long lines and lots of confusion when people started showing up after the county made that announcement. ABC 10 News anchor Mary McKenzie followed a woman who was able to get in for her first shot this morning.
The appointments that pop up on the county's website for the Petco Park vaccine site come and go quickly. I've seen 2 pop up and go away within a matter of seconds today.
It's a very efficient system.
All in all, things seem to go smoothly this morning compared to yesterday's confusion and lines of cars right after the announcement was made. Joyce DeJesus was able to make an appointment on Friday, but then was turned away when she got there because she wasn't a healthcare worker. We talked to her about that frustration, but she did get the appointment today.
All's well that ends well.
As for the second dose, when you register for the first appointment, you create a health account, which puts you in the UCSD system. It's supposed to notify you when you can make an appointment for that second dose.
As soon as they gave me the shot, I got a text to go back on there and schedule a second appointment, and I already got it.
The county has a new vaccine dashboard on its COVID site, and Petco Park has been averaging 3,500 to 4,500 vaccinations a day. A county spokesperson tells me they do expect to get more vaccine this week, but they don't know how many doses. Mary McKenzie, ABC 10 News.
Meanwhile, Scripps Health is offering more of their patients access to the vaccine. The company announcing yesterday they are starting to invite patients 65 and older to get vaccinations. Now, Scripps says that invitation will be sent through My Scripps account, so patients should keep an eye out for that. Once invited, you'll have to make an appointment. Vaccinations will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. That's something we will, of course, also be keeping a close eye on. You'll be able to find updates on that situation and more info on vaccines in San Diego on 10news.com. Relatives of inmates at the Donovan Correctional Facility are raising some red flags about the spread of COVID-19 at the prison, just as they've had more than a dozen deaths. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Cornell has more on the concerns and what officials are saying about the claims.
Those with loved ones at the Donovan Correctional Facility say not enough is being done to protect inmates from COVID-19. But Donovan officials say they've already made changes to slow down the spread.
It's difficult out here to social distance, to get the proper care you need for COVID-19. Imagine inside of a prison where the health care is horrible, where social distancing is horrible.
Angela Cadena says she's worried about her husband, Feliciano, who's serving time at the Donovan Correctional Facility. She says he's already tested positive for COVID-19.
They're coming in sick, nurses are sick, doctors are sick, and they're continuing to work. And they're mixing the positive cases with negative cases.
According to the state website, Donovan has had a total of 894 COVID-19 cases since March. Of that, 15 deaths. It's not just an issue here in San Diego. There have been tens of thousands of cases across correctional facilities in California. ABC 10 News reached out to officials from Donovan about this challenge, and we were given this statement, saying they've made changes to their program to limit movement of both staff and the population. Meals are delivered to housing units. Recreation is controlled to prevent mixing housing units, and they've staggered schedules to allow for physical distancing and disinfecting. The statement says they're also doing mass testing of the population each week and requiring staff to be tested twice a week, something Angela doesn't believe.
No, they're not testing. I can speak for my husband. My husband's been there a little over 3 months and has only been tested once upon arrival to Donovan, and when he tested positive for COVID, and then he was just quarantined for 2 weeks and was never tested again.
Donovan officials say they have also suspended in-person visits, instead offering only virtual visits until further notice. Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
Let's check in with meteorologist Megan Perry because there's a lot of stuff happening today and through this week. Megan, you're talking about the wind earlier picking up in some areas already. What are you seeing now?
Well, let's actually just talk about those winds because it has been impressive already, and they're only going to get stronger as we transition into the afternoon and as we get into tonight. Alpine, one of the windy places. It looks like we might be seeing some virga out there, some rain that's evaporating before it reaches the ground because it is still pretty dry down at the surface, but gusts up to 31 miles per hour right now. Big Black Mountain has seen the strongest wind gusts so far, 77 miles, but even in Alpine, 67 mile per hour gusts. We've seen isolated gusts over 60, and right now Alpine gusting to 52 miles per hour, over 30 in Descanso, Ramona, Julian, even Otay Mountain seeing those gusts to 45. A high wind warning begins at noon for the coast. Everybody else, we're already in it, and it will last through tomorrow. Widespread gusts of 40 to 50 miles per hour, and I will pinpoint the threat for flooding this evening when I come back with your full forecast.